Welcome to the chapter of fire and explosion, and in this particular module we are going to discuss several problems. They are related to the fire and explosion aspect. So before we start that, let us have a look about that what we have studied in last module. We had a discussion about the fire and explosion, then we had a broad discussion about the fire triangle, then flammability characteristics related to LFL and UFL. We had classified with the definition about the explosion. We had a discussion about the vapor cloud explosion. Then we discussed about the BLEVE and a dust explosion. We had a broad spectrum of various uses of fire extinguishers apart from the classification of those fire extinguishers, and also we have a discussion about the different classes of fire. So in this particular module, we are going to discuss with several problems, especially numerical problems related to the fire and explosion. So let us have a look about the first problem, and this problem is related to the LFL, lower flammability limit and upper flammability limit of a gas mixture which is composed of 0.8% of hexane, 2% of a methane and 0.5% of ethylene by volume. So it's a mixture which is having three different hydrocarbons, and all hydrocarbons are having the flammability aspect. So let us have a discuss about this particular problem. To handle this problem, we need certain statistical information or certain reference information which we discuss in due course of time. So the first thing which we need to calculate is the mole fraction on combustible basis, that is the fuel only basis, and we have to construct a table so that we can put all the desired values in that particular table. So let us have a look about the solution of this particular problem, which is comprises of three different hydrocarbons. So we enlist those hydrocarbons like hexane. Then we have a volume percent which is given in the problem. So hexane is having 0.8% volume. Then we will have to calculate the mole fraction on combustible basis. Then we will have a LFL, that is based on volume percent, and then UFL, that is again based on volume percent. So we are having hexane, then we are having the methane, which is given the problem is 2%. Then we are having ethylene, which is having 0.5%. So the total combustible, they are coming out to be 3.3. So the remaining part we are having, that is 96.7. So if we calculate the mole fraction on combustible basis, it is coming out to be 0.24, 0.61 and 0.15. And LFL on the basis of volume percent is given as, you can have this particular information from your textbook, that is Crowell, and we have supplied the standard table at the end of this particular module. So this is 1.2 and UFL is 7.5. These are the standard, and for methane the LFL is 5.3 and UFL is 15, and ethylene it is 3.1 and UFL is 32.0. So we have calculated with respect to the mole fraction, and then we are going ahead with the standard formula which we had discussed in the fire and explosion things. So we may use this equation, that is LFL mixture is equal to 1 upon summation I is equal to 1 to n and number of components Yi is the mole fraction of the respective component and LFL of individual component. So if we calculate, it is coming out to be 1 upon 0.24, which we have discussed over here, divided by 1.2, that is the LFL of individual. Then we calculate the methane, which is having the mole fraction of 0.61 and LFL is 5.3. Then we are having the mole fraction of ethylene as 0.15 and the LFL is 3.1, which is 363 or equal to 2.75% by volume total combustible. So this is the LFL. So in case if they fall, now let us have a look about the UFL of this particular mixture. So we will discuss this UFL in the next slide, and if you recall that the formula is almost similar. So the UFL of the mixture is 1 upon I is equal to N. Here we are having 3 components, mole fraction and then UFL of an individual component. So it is 1 upon 0.24, which we had earlier described, and 7.5 plus 0.61 upon 15, the UFL of the component, plus 0.15, 32.0. So it is coming out to be 12.9% by volume of the total combustible. So now since this particular mixture contains 3.3% of total mixture contains 3.3% of the total combustible, and we have calculated that LFL and UFL of the mixture, and UFL is 12.9 and LFL is 5.3. So it is the flammable because it falls under the range of LFL and UFL. So the mixture is flammable. So this is the solution which through which you can easily calculate that whether a particular mixture is combustible or not. And we had 3 different hydrocarbons, hexane, methane, ethylene, etc. So we can calculate that, and if it falls under the LFL and UFL range, then you need to take several precautions. Now let us have a look about the second problem. Now this problem relates that if the UFL for a substance is 13.0% by volume at 0 megapascal gauge pressure, then you need to calculate the UFL at 6.8 megapascal gauge. Now remember that in our previous modules we have derived the formula which is showing the impact of a pressure change to the LFL and UFL. So let us have a look about the solution of this particular problem. Now the absolute pressure is given by P is equal to 6.8 plus 0.101, and which comes out to be megapascal. Now you can determine the UFL at a given pressure by this particular equation, the standard UFL, and 20.6 log P plus 1. So this is 13, which we have calculated from the table which is present which is there in the last slide of this particular module, plus 20.6 log 6.901 plus 1. So it is coming out to be the 50.88 volume percent of fuel in year. So this is the answer of this particular problem. So now let us have a look about the next problem, which is the problem number 3. Now this particular problem relates with the LFL, and you need to estimate the lower flammability limit, that is LFL, and upper flammability limit for hexane, and you need to compare the calculated limit to the actual values determined experimentally. So in this particular problem, we need to seek the help of the stoichiometric formula which we had discussed in the theoretical modules. So let us have a look about the solution of this particular problem. So first let us discuss about the stoichiometry of this particular reaction. So this is C6H12 ZO2 plus MCO2 plus by 2 H2O. So Z, M, X, they are found by balancing the chemical reaction. So by balancing we can find that M is equal to 6 and X is equal to 14, which is given by the formula. So LFL and UFL, they are determined by LFL is equal to 0.55. Remember that particular formula which we have already discussed in the theoretical module, and this is 4.76 M plus 1.19 X minus 2.38 Y plus 1, and similarly the UFL is 3.50 upon 4.76 M plus 1.19 X minus 2.38 Y plus 1. So these are the LFL and UFL formula. So let us calculate the LFL and UFL for the problem, and it is let us have a look about the LFL. It is LFL is equal to 0.55 into 100 divided by 4.76 into 6 plus 1.19 into 14 plus 1, and this is come out to be 1.19 on the basis of volume percent, which is equal to 1.2 percent volume percent on actual basis. Similarly, let us have a look about the UFL. This is 3.5 into 100 divided by 4.76 into 6 plus 1.19 into 14 plus 1, and this is 7.5 volume percent on actual basis. So by this way, if because you are having the standard LFL and UFL for this component in question, and you can have it from the last slide, and you can compare that theoretically whatever you find it out, and what is the difference between the theoretical value and the experimental value. And sometimes these particular things are extremely important. The reason is that because of the slight deviation, the properties of the component with respect to LFL and UFL might have changed. So now let us have a look about the problem number 4, that relates to the limiting or minimum oxygen concentration. So here you need to calculate the limiting oxygen concentration LOC for the butane, that is C4H10. So let us have a look about the this problem. For this particular problem, we need to have the stoichiometric equation a priori. So, the stoichiometric of this particular equation suggests that C4H10 plus 6.5 O2, this is the basic combustion equation, for CO2 plus 5 H2O. So, if we see the LFL of a butane from our table, it is comes out to be 1.9% by volume. So, from stoichiometric equation, we can have the limiting oxygen concentration, that is moles of fuel divided by total moles into moles of oxygen divided by moles of fuel. So, upon simplification, it is LFL into moles of oxygen divided by moles of fuel. So, if we substitute, we find it that LOC is equal to 1.9 moles of fuel divided by total moles into 6.5 moles of oxygen divided by 1.0 moles of fuel. So, by this way, the LOC is coming out to be 12.4% volume oxygen. So, the you can prevent the combustion of a butane by addition of nitrogen, carbon dioxide or any inert gas, or even sometimes water vapor may do this thing, which is below to keep the things below 12.4%. So, however, one thing must be noted that the water addition is not recommended, because any condition that condenses the water would move the oxygen concentration back into the flammable region. So, this may be the critical issue. So, you need to have an appropriate inert gas or inert material to be inserted in that particular chamber. Now, let us have a look about the problem number 5. Now, this problem is that what will be the final temperature after compressing air over liquid hexane from 1 atmosphere to 34 atmosphere. The initial temperature of the hexane is given to you, that is 37.78 degrees Celsius, and this is a very common industrial problem. Remember, when we are compressing this, then we cannot overlook the importance of other thermodynamic property, that is auto ignition temperature. So, the auto ignition temperature of a hexane is 487 degrees Celsius, and gamma for air is given as 1.4. So, let us solve this particular problem. So, we are having the thermodynamic equation, that is Tf is equal to initial temperature, this is the final temperature. So, final pressure divided by the initial pressure and gamma minus 1 upon gamma. Now, this for this the T final is 487, which is given in the problem, plus 273. So, this is 34.1. 0.4 upon 1.4. So, the TF is coming out to be 2081.51, which is approximated, that you can say that 2082 Kelvin, which is equal to 1808 degrees Celsius. So, this is the answer. Now, this temperature, because the auto ignition temperature is 487, so this exceeds the AIT. So, you need and may cause the explosion. So, you need to take the precautionary measures. So, this gives that, you can say that this one is the theoretical thing and a basic thermodynamic problem. Now let us have a look about the another problem, and this problem is a bit big. So the lubricating oil in piston type compressor is always found in minute amounts in the cylinder bore, and the compression operation must always be maintained well below the auto ignition temperature of the oil to prevent any kind of explosion that might occur in due course of time because of the involvement of the pressure. So we are having a particular lubricating oil which is having an auto ignition temperature of 400 degrees Celsius. Now here we need to compute the compression ratio required to raise the temperature of air to the auto ignition temperature of this particular oil. We need to take an assumption that an initial air temperature of is 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atmosphere. So the 25 degrees Celsius is a very common temperature aspect. So let us have a solution of this particular problem. Now here again go back to the fundamental thermodynamic equation, that is Tf is equal to Ti P final upon Pi gamma minus 1 upon gamma. So if we solve for the compression ratio, we have Pf upon Pi, which is equal to Tf upon Ti gamma upon gamma minus 1. So we are having all the values ready made with us. So 400 plus 273 divided by 25, because we have assumed this the 25 degrees Celsius, 273 gamma upon gamma minus 1, which is coming out to be 17.3. So this ratio, this one, represents an output pressure of 17.3 into 1 atmosphere, that is 17.3 atmosphere. So the actual compression ratio or the pressure should be kept well below to this particular value. So it is desired that it should be kept well below to this value. So this is the problem again related to the thermodynamic aspect. Now let us have a look about the next problem. Now this problem is related to the involvement of trinitrotoluene. So 1 kilogram of trinitrotoluene is exploded. So you need to compute the overpressure at a distance of 30 meter from the explosion. So for this particular problem, we need to have a graph which represents the scaled overpressure and the scaled distance, and this is a log graph, and these graphs, this particular graph or a plot is available in various handbooks, those who represent for the design calculation of the fire and explosion. So it is easily available graph. So we need to calculate the scaling parameter, which we can determine with the use of this particular equation. So ZE is equal to R upon MTNT, which is equal to 30 meter, because 30 meter is given to your problem. 1 kilogram of TNT, which is coming out to be 30. Now if we go back to this particular plot, so by this way we can calculate this, because we have calculated the ZE is equal to 30 M. So by this way we can calculate the scaled overpressure. So it is because this is a standard one, so it is somewhere where it is lying. So from this particular figure we can calculate the scaled overpressure, that is given on the y-axis, which is comes out to be somewhere here in this particular zone, because this is the log plot. So 30, and it is come out to somewhere here. So we have calculated for the ease, and it is comes out to be 0.055. So we are having this situation formula where PS is the scaled overpressure, P naught is the peak side on overpressure, and PA is the ambient pressure. So if let us say that it is 1 atmosphere, then resulting side on overpressure is estimated by this particular formula, that is PS PA, and we have already calculated this PS, that is 0.55 into atmospheric 101.3 kilopascal. This is comes out to be 5.6 kilopascal. So this is the desired result. So this particular plot is easily available in various chemical engineering handbooks. Now let us take another problem, and that is the problem number 8. Here the 1000 kilogram of methane which is escapes from a storage vessel, this was mixed with the air and exploded. So here you need to determine the equivalent amount of TNT and the side on peak overpressure at a distance of 50 meter from the blast. So for the ease of calculation, you may assume that the explosion efficiency of 2%. So let us solve this particular problem. So for this we are having a ready-made equation of this mTNT, which is delta Hc upon ETNT. Now here this is the equivalent mass of TNT, having the unit of mass. Eta is the empirical explosion efficiency, which is unitless. M is the mass of hydrocarbon, and delta Hc is the energy of explosion of flammable gas, having the unit in terms of energy versus mass, and ETNT is the energy of explosion of TNT. So mTNT is equal to 0.02 into 1000 kilogram into 1 mole divided by 0.016 kilogram into 818.7 kilojoule per mole, that is the delta Hc, the divided by 4686 kilojoule per kilogram. So the mass of TNT is coming out to be 218 kilogram of TNT, and that is the desired result which we need to calculate. So for the second part of this particular problem, we need to go back to our plot which we had discussed in the previous problem. So for this we need to calculate the ZE. So we are having the formula of ZE is equal to upon R upon mTNT 1 by 3. So these things are given the problem, and we have calculated this mTNT in the previous part. So it is 218 kilogram of TNT 1 by 3. It is coming out to be 8.3 mkg to power. Now through this we can refer back to the plot which we had discussed in the previous problem. Here I guess that now this here. So we are having the scale distance over here which we have calculated. So through by this overpressure y-axis we can calculate the overpressure. So we are having ZE with us. So from this particular figure plot we can calculate the scaled overpressure, which comes out to be, we have for the ease of calculation we have already calculated, which comes out to be 0.25 in this particular case. So we may utilize this formula PS is equal to P naught upon PA, where PS is the scaled overpressure, P naught is the peak side on overpressure, PA is the ambient pressure. So if let us take that this ambient pressure as 1 atmosphere, so the overpressure which we can calculate is at P naught PS into PA, which is 0.25, which we have calculated through plot, into 101.3, which is comes out to be 25. Now this particular overpressure will demolish the steel panelled building. So by this way we have calculated this overpressure. We had a discussion about the overpressure aspect also. So let us have a look about the last problem of this particular module. In this problem number 9, methanol has a flash point of 54 degree Fahrenheit and its vapor pressure at this temperature is 52 millimeter of mercury. So you need to calculate the flash point of a solution which contains 70% methanol and 30% water by weight. Now this is a very common industrial problem. The reason is that sometimes the variation of this type of solvent or adulteration of anything which and we can analyze that what is the impact of the adulteration or a mixing of the solvent in different proportion with respect to a solution. So let us have a look about the solution of this particular problem. Here let us assume that we are having a basis of 100 kilogram of solution. So to ease of our calculation, we draw a table here. We are having the kgs which is given, then because we require the molecular weight of the component in question, and then we need to calculate the moles of those component involved in this particular solution, and then the mole fraction. So we are having water with us. It is based on this particular basis, it is having the 30 kilogram of weight. Then the molecular weight of water is 18, so the number of moles are 1.67. Similarly, we are having the methanol, which is 70 kilogram and having the molecular weight of 32. So its mole comes out to be 2.1875. So if we calculate the total number of moles, these are 3.8575. So based on this particular information, we can calculate the mole fraction. So the mole fraction of water, it is coming out to be 0.433, and the methanol is having 0.567. So we can use the Raoult's law to compute the vapor pressure, that is the saturation vapor pressure of a pure methanol, that is based on the partial pressure required to flash the solution in question. So the Raoult's law, that this one, so if we need to calculate the saturation pressure, then it is P upon X, that is 52 upon 0.53, which is 91.71 millimeter of mercury. So just we need to have this particular plot which represents the temperature versus vapor pressure profile, because here we have calculated the vapor pressure. So on this particular basis, we can calculate the temperature. So our vapor pressure is somewhere in this particular zone. So based on this particular plot, we can calculate the temperature and the flash point of the solution, which we can calculate with respect to the temperature, which comes out to be somewhere near about this particular point, which is 18.95 degrees Celsius, or if you convert into the Fahrenheit, that is comes out to be 66.11 degree Fahrenheit. So this is our solution. So in this particular module, we had discussed almost 9 problems related to the fire and explosion. And if you wish to refer anything related to this particular the problems, you can always refer to the references which are listed in this particular slide. Thank you.